instruments across the value chains. What this means is without legitimately elected local governments, governors can allegedly still use their puppets to siphon funds from local governments despite their autonomy.
We have to be very careful because in trying to create a workable system, we should not create confusions that we would not be able to manage.
Definitely there will still be need for constitutional alteration to streamline the position with what the Supreme Court has said. Because technically speaking, Section 16, the import of the Supreme Court decision yesterday has nullified Section 162 sub 6.
Some guests, on the other hand, believe the effectiveness of the autonomy depends on scrapping of the State Electoral Commission, who do the governor's bidding and allow INEC conduct local council elections.
We should take serious cognizance of the fact that local government chairman must be conscious of the fact that when they are given this money, they should be able to use it judiciously and be transparent with it, so that at the end of the day, the purpose of which this government is granted is not defeated.
All accusing fingers seems to be, pointed at the governors for this, governors for that. Exactly. I think as citizens, we should encourage them because they should also be concerned about developments in their councils. So if they are not interested and concerned about developments in their local councils, what becomes of them when they retire or when they finish tenure and then go back to their councils?
The guests are emphatic that oversight, monitoring and auditing of allocations to mitigate past mistakes of owing teachers and other salaries through mismanagement of funds must be prioritized. They call for prosecution of local government chairpersons found wanting. Achieving sustainable grassroots development and changing the narrative to harness the given autonomy, the guests say, requires collective patriotic efforts. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Nigerian Governors Forum has expressed its acceptance of the Supreme Court verdict revalidating the autonomy of local government authorities in the country. By its verdict on Thursday, the Apex Court outlaws the current practice in which the funds due to the local government authorities are being credited to the state government account. In an interview with State House correspondents after their visit to President Bola Tinubu, chairman of the Nigerian Governors and Governor of Kwara State and his colleagues from Bauchi and Imo States described the Supreme Court judgment as a welcome development.
We welcome the ruling of the Supreme Court. Compliance is a given, and our Attorney Generals have applied for the enrollment order, which we'll study carefully. But by and large, governors are happy with the devolution of power in respect to local government autonomy.
The Governors Forum equally expresses belief that the verdict will reduce the burden of the state government.
People really don't know how much states expend in bailing out local governments, and that's the issue there. It's not going to affect the states. We've never tampered with local government funds, so it's going to continue. What the local governments have to do is to manage themselves, especially with the upcoming minimum wage, to manage their affairs and make sure salaries are paid. Traditional rulers get the 5%, and those are the main issues.
The Nasarawa state government has described the judgment of the Supreme Court, which granted autonomy to the third tier of government, as a welcome development. In a statement, the Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Labaran Shuaibu Magaji, SAN, says the judgment marks a significant milestone in the evolution of the country's democracy and the protection of local government funds from undue interference. Magaji SAN posits that the decision of the Apex Court aligns with the Nasarawa state government's commitment to uphold the principles of democracy, transparency and good governance at all levels of government. They guarantee democratic setup at the local government level, as well as the non-tampering with local government funds, which characterize governance in Nasarawa state, will ensure that resources meant for grassroots development are utilized for the benefit of our people. It further maintains that the autonomy will enhance the democratic setup at the grassroots level, empowering local authorities to make decisions that directly impact the lives of the people they serve. Magaji SAN says the verdict reinforces the principles of federalism and strengthens the foundation of a democratic system. Inspector General of Police Kayode Egbetokun is assuring Nigerians and the international community that the Nigerian police force will continue to improve its policing strategies to enhance performance. He gave the assurance when the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime visited the force headquarters to present the third anti-corruption report in Abuja. IGP Egbetokun commended the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime for partnering with the force and ensuring effective and adequate security in the country. Ministry of Special Duties and Intergovernmental Affairs will leverage the Supreme Court's judgment on local government autonomy to adequately oversight local government administration in Nigeria in order to realize the renewed hope agenda of the current administration. Minister of Special Duties and Intergovernmental Affairs, Zephaniah Jesalu, stated this at the ministry's 2024 annual retreat on performance management system. Kenneth Nanim reports.
The Ministry of Special Duties and Intergovernmental Affairs is taking advantage of his annual retreat to deliberate on stage-by-stage methodology of performance management system, evaluating standards, operational procedures in line with international best practices.
It is a pivotal moment for us to reflect, to re-evaluate, and re-strategize on how we can improve our performance management systems and intergovernmental coordination to provide better service to the Nigerian people.
The retreat is also discussing ways of upscaling capacities, skills and knowledge of staff in achieving the set goals. It was also a time to evaluate activities of agencies under the purview of the ministry to align collaborative efforts towards achieving the aims and objectives of the federal government. But for the minister, addressing challenges in the local communities is of paramount, and the Supreme Court's decision on local government autonomy provides the leeway.
We will make sure that the local government give their attention to primary health centers, including the education, primary school, the junior secondary school, and the secondary school. I think giving the instructional materials, give them people desk and other things. That's what we're talking about. The local road where people go, like farmers, let them go to farm and bring their farm produce to the market.
Outcomes of the retreat, the ministry says, will be utilized in collaboration with the Central Delivery Coordination Unit of the federal government. Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
The Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps has cautioned landowners, particularly in Okwa West local government area of Abia State, to provide credible intelligence towards tackling oil bunkering in the area or risk forfeiture of their property to the federal government. The commander of the CG Special Intelligence Squad, Apollos Dandaura, sounded this warning when he led newsmen to an on-the-spot assessment of oil installations in Okwa West local government area of Abia State and the River State, respectively. Dennis Temple reports.
Serious surveillance will be intensified. We did not just restrict ourselves to this axis. As they are here, they enter different locations, Eche, Rivers, they entered this and that. Last week, we did some arrests and handed over to the various commands.
Okwa West local government area of Abia State is on the news again, for this time for the wrong reason, as the activities of crude oil bunkering assumed a dangerous dimension to the extent that it poses significant threat to the economic stability and environmental safety of the area. To address this menace, the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC, is intensifying efforts to combat these criminal activities. It therefore wants community leaders, especially landowners, to join forces to combat the trend.
The landowner even make more money in this illegal refinery process than to farm in the land, because that when you produce some number of drums, the landowner is entitled to 1 drum.
The civil defense will get, because it's their core mandate, will get their result. And they are giving us support here and there. Every minute of the day I call them, they will be there for me. So I thank the civil defense, I thank the president of this country, I thank both the company that gave me this job, Pipeline Infrastructure. They won't try me, and to God be on my side, we are delivering.
The Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps has also forwarded attempts to reconstruct illegal refineries where over 50 items, including metallic drums used as ovens, galvanized pipes, and 30 metallic oven reservoirs were destroyed. Dennis Temple, NTA News.
Still talking safety, the security architecture of the Kogi State Governor, Ahmed Usman Ododo, has started to deliver as several bandits were neutralized when local hunters stormed kidnappers' hideout in Yagba West, acting on credible intelligence to rescue kidnapped victims. Last week, Governor Ahmed Ododo distributed security kits to local hunters recruited by his administration, charging them to go after criminals and make Kogi safe again. The trained hunters were able to rescue all the 3 kidnapped victims at the camp, and some of the bandits escaped with gun wounds. Addressing newsmen at Odoere, the headquarters of Yagwa West local government area, the State Commissioner for Information and Communications said the resolve of the governor to stamp out criminality from Kogi State is total. He thanked the hunters for their gallantry, assuring them of the state government's support. The Transition Committee Chairman of Yagba West, Honorable Tosin Olokun, said the hunters were able to achieve the feat with the help of credible intelligence. He thanked the governor for empowering and emboldening hunters across the state to combat crime, assuring the people of Yagba West of adequate security at all times. The rescued victims also narrated their ordeals in the hands of the kidnappers, thanking the local government chairman and the governor for prioritizing security. It's now time to take a short break. The news returns shortly. Glad to have you back. In response to the rising cases of sexual harassment in tertiary institutions, the management of Federal University Lokoja has initiated measures to address the issue. The Institute of Gender Studies at the university recently organized a forum called Open Mic, where both lecturers and students could openly share their experiences and suggest solutions. Jonathan Mamajali was there.
Rape, sex for marks, and accusations of sexual harassment between lecturers and students have continued to surface in many Nigerian higher institutions of learning. Often, victims remain silent, fearing victimization. But how long can this go on unchecked? The Open Mic program, organized by the Institute of Gender Studies at Federal University Lokoja, aims to address this pervasive issue affecting many universities.
A couple of incidents had put Lokoja, Federal University Lokoja, in a bad light, and so we did. The management felt that it was time for the university to take proactive action regarding sexual relations.
All kinds of debaucheries in the university system that has even gotten to Senate, and it has become a public matter.
The team, Sexualities and Ethics explored various problems including rape, sexual favors for grades, retaliation when students report abuse, and issues of consent. Students were encouraged to speak up without fear of victimization.
It is through open and honest dialogue that we can identify the root causes of this issue and work towards effective solutions.
Beyond sharing experiences, both staff and students proposed solutions.
There should be a place where they will go and report without that lecturer knowing that they are the one that have come to report.
We are here as custodians of their development.
Management needs to assure that the victims will be taken care of, the case will be taken care of. There shouldn't be any instance whereby after reporting your case, maybe it will start going viral.
There was also advocacy for legislation to address sexual harassment in tertiary institutions. In Lokoja, Jonathan Omajali, NTA News.
Public relations has been identified as a tool for building international relations aimed at projecting a nation's image and interests globally, which in turn fosters international relations and diplomacy anchored on mutual benefits. Omeka Amarachukwu reports that stakeholders at the second Nigerian Institute of Public Relations Special Diamond Anniversary Induction for Media and Allied Practitioners in Abuja are in tandem with this.
For admission into the membership of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations.
That oath by the new inductees was the peak of activities marking the second NIPR Diamond Anniversary induction for media and allied practitioners with a charge to uphold the ethics and standard of the profession.
So we are going to use our office to promote positive news, promote the image of our country, promote the image of our offices where we are working.
Know what when you are sending out certain signals, when you are sending out such informations, to ensure that those information is it truthful? How will it react? How will people react when such information goes on air?
So I'm happy to be here today, and I'm happy to be in the space where the skills that we have learned over the last couple of days will be brought to bear as we discharge our assignments.
Wherever I find myself, I will be a brand ambassador of this great country.
Well, personally, I feel this is an opportunity for me to learn more in my field.
I have acquired from these 2 days masterclass to a large extent will help me understand the need to project Nigeria in a positive light.
Stakeholders says the additional 540 inductees into the profession is an indication that public relations is getting better in the best interest of the country.
Let us speak from the point of view of patriotism or believing in the nation. The divisions that I see today, even in the media, are very dangerous for the future of our country. As young people come into journalism, stand by the truth.
That no matter the quality of any policy, no matter how well articulated that policy is, unless you're able to share this policy with the public, with society, with your citizens.
Your graduation today is not an end to learning or the beginning of new studies.
So you should be proud of who you are. All right? On the basis of that, I hereby confer on all of you the membership of Nigerian Institute of Public Relations.
This is the second batch of inductees into the profession as part of Institute's Golden Jubilee anniversary. In Abuja, Omeka Amarachukwu, NTA News.
Parents whose children and wards are administered the 5 doses of vaccines against the child killer diseases are now to receive a bonus of 5,000 naira in addition to the 1,000 naira received per dose. Well, this is government and stakeholders' strategy to reduce morbidity and mortality rates amongst children in the state. Governor Nasiru Idris, represented by his deputy, flagged off the new incentive program in Argungu through a conditional cash transfer to mothers to encourage acceptance of the vaccines. Abdul Alil Mohammed Bawa reports.
Morbidity and mortality rate was very high in Kebbi State because many refused to be immunized and will not allow their children or wards to be immunized. Eventually, to curb the trend, sensitization and introduction of incentives such as 1,000 naira per vaccine was introduced. These worked like magic as more parents began to accept the vaccines. However, in 3 local government areas of the state, for example, still has a ratio of 25% children who have never been immunized. These caused stakeholders to set up the game, as it now offers the sum of 5,000 naira to any parent who complete the 5 doses of the immunization. This is in addition to the 1,000 naira already received for vaccine.
Before, I used to trek to come to the hospital, but with this incentive, I come to the hospital with ease. May God bless the new incentive.
We are not providing just cash incentives. We conduct sensitization and awareness for all the mothers that bring their children for vaccination.
Although the exercise has recorded 70% of its target for zero-dose reduction over the years, reaching 85% coverage in 2023, the new incentive is expected to achieve greater results.
To assure you of the state government and our leadership,
I'm reiterating my call that this vaccine is very important, so parents should bring their children for it.
The additional 5,000 naira grant to mothers will also be extended to other local government areas in the state. In Argungu of Kebbi State, Abdul Mohammed Bawa, NTA News.
This is the news desk at 6 on NTA NEWS24. Before we go, here is a quick look at our major stories. Nigeria Governors Forum hails Supreme Court verdicts on local government autonomy.
Never tampered with local government funds, so it's going to continue. What the local governments have to do is to manage themselves, especially with the upcoming minimum wage.
Experts suggest impediments to effective functionality removed following the judgment on local government autonomy. Oil bunkering. Operatives of Nigeria Civil Defense cautions landowners on providing credible intelligence to tackle oil bunkering in Abia State.
This is NTA News24.
President Bola Tinubu has congratulated Oba Owolabi Olakunleye on his coronation as the 43rd Olubado of the ancient Ibadan and joins the family, Ibadan citizens, State Council of Obas, and the state government in celebrating Oba Olakunleye on his ascension to the throne of his forebears. A statement by the President's Special Advisor on Media and Publicity, Ajuri Ngilali, says the President also pointed out Oba Olakunleye has brought to the throne immense wisdom, experience, character and strength, and urges the monarch to use the highly esteemed tool of Ibadan to advance the peace, security and development of the area. President Tinubu assures the new Oluibado of his support and wishes him success as he works to promote and preserve the culture and traditions of the ancient city. And that concludes the news desk at 6 on NTA NEWS24. Many thanks for watching. I am Mina Daniels.